mode.
Okay, hello everyone. This is Abhishek again from the Study Matter Bangalore office, and today we are giving a presentation about the study in the France. And the France is like again we are doing the France country from last 2 years now, and the good part is that most of the students they get the visas for the France education, and we have seen that the admissions criteria and everything is very simple compared to the other countries. So Mohammad Jaid will be presenter today, who will give you the complete information about the France educations. So whatever the questions you have in between in your webinar, feel free to write down in the chat box window. So Jed, you can start from your end.
Thank you so much, Abhishek sir. Hello, everyone. As myself, Mohammad Zaid from Study Metro Bangalore. Today, I'm over here to present about France education system. So, let me summarize you what all will be discussed today. It's about France, about the culture, about the education system, the courses, eligibility criteria, the application process, admission process, with the visa process. Okay, now it's fine. So, study in France. As this is the France flag, first of all, with the tricolor, it was being adopted in the year 1794. And this is how the France map looks like, and it is bordered with 9 major countries like Germany, Belgium, United Kingdom, Spain, and some of the other countries. And when we are talking about the capital of France, which is a very beautiful capital, Paris, it's called City of Lights. Again, as you can see the picture of it, it's not during any of the eve time. It's generally every day you can find the same in Paris. And some of the nutshells about France, which if most of the people over here will be very much aware of it. It's one of the largest European country, and when we are talking about the surface area, it's uh, twice the size of UK. And the major cities in France is, apart from Paris, Lyon and Marseille. And language spoken is French, which is again the second largest spoken language in the world, with 5 different continents like United Nations, African continent, etc. And the time difference is around 4.5 hours ahead. India is ahead than France, 4.5 hours ahead. And the currency used is euro, and they basically majorly used with the plastic currency, that is the credit card or some of the swipe cards with the microchip or without the microchip. And when we are talking about the France, it is ranked as #1 tourist destination, where every minute there is around 115 tourists arrive in France, and very well known for fashion industries and its culture and different type of wine. If you're talking about wine, France is the second highest producer in the world for wine. And when we are talking about the beverages, again, champagne was being introduced 300 years ago in France. It's called gift. It's been gifted by France. And some of the well-known company, which I can see almost most of the companies are in Bangalore as well, like L'Oreal, then own Technip, Safran, Total. These are some of the well-known company in the world, which is located all over, but the headquarters are located in France. And this is again a very known place, Mont Blanc, highest mountain in the Alps, and nice capital of the French Riviera. That's different rivers, they do have it, and it's a capital of a river. And this again a very well known Champs Ellis. And this is some of the tourist attraction where people visit France. They often visit all this other location in France and the close by location like Milan, Netherlands, Amsterdam, Luxembourg. These all countries where they have the metro connectivity is very easily from France. The people who has a Schengen visa, and they visit all these countries for the tourism. And now coming back to education system in France, France is known as the third most hosting country after US and UK for the education for the international student, where around 298,000 international students there with Erasmus and other courses. As earlier mentioned, it's spoken in 5 different countries like United Nations, Olympic Committee, and African Unions. Working language in EU institutions, that is European Union institutions, is French. And coming to higher education, there are around 80 public universities, around 225 engineering-based écoles. There is nothing but a private institution or private universities along with the diplomas and masters, bachelor certificates in top engineering schools. When we are talking about, there are some of the business schools around 220. Apart from this, they have 120 arts colleges and 20 schools of architectures and 3,000 other ecoles and institutes with like vocational training and other type of training institutions, which is located in France at present. And the education system is very similar as Indian education system, as they follow the same policy, like around 3 years of bachelor's degree and will be 2 years of master's degree. Up to 2 years, they have around 12 months to 2 years of master's degree basically, and 3 years of PhD basically. And there are certain pathway programs as well where they can go for some diplomas which will be equivalent to a master's degree which they can gain it. And for the healthcare courses, there is a pathway entry over there. They have to do a preparation course followed by they can get into any of the medicines or dental or pharmacy courses. And when we are talking about getting an admission, how difficult and easy it is in France, and difference between the university and Grand Ecole. Grand Ecole, as I mentioned, it's basically known for private institutions or the university which gives courses into specialized area like engineering, business, IT, architecture. And when we are talking about the universities, it has all the things majorly with the literatures, research programs, law, economics, and all. And the main hurdle over here with the university to get into a public university is the French language. 95% of the French university has been taught in French language, and when we are talking about Grand Ecole, that has been taught 100% in English. And the benefit over here with the easy requirement, they can get into some diploma program as mentioned earlier to you with a master's degree level. Okay, now giving some standards about talking about some standards, they have the excellent standards in all the areas of specialization, which leads towards the better job opportunities in entire world, as their degree is well recognized with the top engineering schools or universities in France. The courses are free of charge with the universities, like it's is same as free because the fees are very low. It's like approx 200 to 300 euros per year when we are getting into public universities over there, which is being taught in the English medium. Sorry, French medium. And the main important thing, foreign students are being treated as same as the French students over there in terms of their status or the tuition fees. There is nothing difference between an international student or a French student over there for the fee structure. And the major benefit what the international student gets is the housing aid, where the government is going to support each and every international student with the 40 to 50% of their accommodation charges is being paid by the government. The government is going to reimburse to the student with 40 to 50%. And France is also known for research and innovation in the education field, whereas 35.5 billion spent on research in France, which is in the year 2006, and around 2 lakh researchers in public and private sectors are available in France. And it is the fourth most research active country in the world after US, Japan, and Germany. And when we're talking about some of the popular and ranking universities in the France, which is world ranked number 33rd. If you can see, like ENS Palace, there is Eco Normal, which is 33rd rank in the world as per 2016 2017. And there are some of the others as well, like Ecole Polytechnic, that is located in Paris again, in which is ranked 53rd in the world, and around University of Paris, which is 141. And there are a lot more of the ranked university which comes under top 200 to top 300 universities in the world. Okay, the some of the popular courses like medicine is again a quite difficulty to get for an international student, because they do have some prerequisites and some preparation course which they have to do for 2 years. And then they other courses are like art history, communication technology, information technology. Here I would like to add some of the interior fashion designing courses, supply chain management. All those courses are very established and specialized in France. Then what we have we are mainly dealing with grand equal schools, because it will be majorly easy for the Indian student to get in, because they have a very good requirement. If the student is having an education with English medium, they can get into them easily without any exams like GMAT or IELTS. So we majorly deal with some of the top business schools and the engineering schools. Like one of them, if I name them, it's ranked as Europe 10th ranked school, the top business school, which is Emilon on. And one of the engineering school, EPITA, where the job opportunities are huge comparatively to the international student over there. Like for 300, the ratio is 300 job offers are available. And some of the schools have a very good achievement in the job placement, and equal this has an opportunity for the student, like up to 50% of the student get recruited before they get the graduation done. So there are many more schools with us, like ESC Range, Schema. We have a couple of students studying in ESC Range who went for last year intake, who has given a positive response about the education system over there. And we do have certain students in Schema as well, which is again ranked 29th ranking top B school in France. They do have a course in supply chain management and all those things. And Mod Art, which is into fashion designing course. A lot top fashion industries come over here to pick up the students for the employment over here from Italy or from any other European countries. And when we have Vaten, which is again international business school for the hotel and tourism, again, which is number one in the Europe for the top hotel schools. And we have one more in SEC, which is ranked top 50 in the Financial Times recently. They have got the highest accreditation in the France as of now. Now comes the admission requirement. It's very simple, as same as the other countries, and they do have like application form. Photo is required, a CV with an SOP, two recommendation letters from the high school, or whether the student has a diploma or anything for the bachelor, and similar appears for the masters as well. Only the transcript and the mark sheets changes over here. Application fees, if required, application fees might vary from 100 to 200 euros with the different schools and different universities. TOEFL and IELTS, if the student has, it should have around 6 bands, and for the masters it should be 6.5 bands. And basically they accept with English proficiency certificate, with the student getting it from the last education stating the medium of instruction as English. Here I would like to add some points. Basically they see the seriousness of the students. They have a Skype interview conducted by the program manager from the school, so they take up the Skype interview and they decide on the admission basis. And for the visa purpose, especially as per the embassy norms, seeing the current scenario, we would recommend the students from Gujarat and Punjab to take up the IELTS to prove their ability. They're more serious about these studies because of the communication level. And as I already told you about the fee structure for the undergraduation, it's 189 euros. It's an approx fees which has been mentioned, and for the engineering, it goes around 615 euro was per year, and for post graduation 261 euros. It's an approx fees as per the government of France. It may vary, and when we are talking about the private institution, it goes around 7,000 euros per year up to 16,000 euros for the entire course. Not per year, it's 7,000 to 16,000 euros for the post graduation, and for the bachelors it will be like around 6,000 euros to 10,000 euros per year. And scholarships are available. There are 4 5 different scholarship provided, which is two are from the government and 3 are from the university. They do have their own terms and conditions. Basically, this government scholarship is being provided for public sector university, and the university scholarship based on their GPA and their requirements, the interview is being provided. They do have set up a different norms, and different university has a different requirements for the scholarship options over here. And now comes the cost of living. It's 700 to 1100 euros. It's like with the accommodation, food, travel allowances, and basic, all with the basic, all the things, it comes around 700 to 1100 euros. It's when the student is going at the initial time, he might be like extra costing like around 800 to 1500, but when as the time passes, it comes around 700 to 1100 euros. Now the application system, what generally they follow for the admission and the visa. As soon as the application is received by the admission committee over there, they will be having a Skype interview or the telephonic interview with the student, with the program manager. After the acceptance, they will issue the acceptance letter where the student has to deposit the amount, that is deposit the fees, like around 3,000 to $5,000 fees for the private sector, private institutions, and as well as 500 euros to 700 euros for the accommodation purpose, to block the accommodation. It's mandatory that the student has to pay for the accommodation because they get the accommodation letter while filing for the visa. Then they receive the enrollment confirmation and the certificate to file for the visa. And the intakes availability is, the major intake in France is Feb and October. Again, October is major intake with all the public universities, and private universities and the institution has Feb and March intake. Generally, always advise the student to apply 3 months prior to the intake dates. The deadlines are available. November 31st is the deadline for the Feb intake. Maximum they can accept till November 31st if it is for Feb or March intake, because the visa itself takes a lot of time. And for October intake, of September October intake, the deadline will be 30th of June. And the working norms, the working opportunities for the international student. Yes, like all the countries, France has an opportunity for an international student to work part-time up to 20 hours per week during their education time. And most of the institution, when I'm talking about, as I discussed about the previous top business schools, engineering institution, they have an internship opportunity up to 4 months to 6 months of internship opportunity is being provided. Okay, with the student can work full time. It's not limited only with France. He can come back to India and do his internship, or wherever in the world he wants to do it. He can do in entire European country as well, the internship. And followed by, after completion of the course, the student gets 1 year of work authorization visa, where the student can look for the job and continue his work over there. As he is in a Schengen country, so he gets a Schengen visa. It will be easy to look for a job not only in France, all over the European Union countries. And the minimum wages, if I'm talking about in the internship, they will be earning 11 euros per hour, where they can cover half of the private institution fees easily. Now, visa procedure, it's very simple. For France, like register online, there is an organization for the France over here who does the academic interview, known as Campus France. It has 10 offices in India, in all the major cities like Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata. Very well known places. They have an office where the student has to go over there after fixing up an appointment, registering online, uploading all the documents. Then they have the academic interview where they evaluate the documents and process for the next step for the visa with the consulate. Then they have, once the campus France is done, then they have an appointment with VFS or a French consulate to drop in all the remaining documents. For the academic documents, when we are talking about the document requirement, is very simple. It's acceptance letters, which is issued by the college along with the accommodation letter, or and all the academic documents with the bona fide certificates, 10, 12, bachelor's, whatever the courses, entire last education certificates, he has to carry down. All the original documents to be carried on to the verification, language test if it is done. If not, the English proficiency certificate will do, and updated resume along with all the experience certificates. Then for the consulate interview, you can talk VFS. There is respected applications to be filled, like long stay application and OFII application form, that is for the basically for the immigration applications to be filled with two passport size photo passport, which is valid for at least 6 months. Okay, and the Campus France ID, once you get registered with the Campus France and the academic interview, you'll be having a confirmation ID which you have to attach with the letter, a letter of registration from of the same documents, whatever documents you have carried for Campus France, the same set of documents to be added over here as well, along with the financial documents. Okay, the remaining tuition fees and the living expenses to be shown for the entire stay in France when we are talking about the financial documents. And the insurance is required. Most of the insurance company over here are being accepted, like HDFC Life Insurance, ICICI Prudential, Bajaj. All these are being accepted for the insurance where the student can easily get it done. And the ticket to be prepaid, it can be either round trip, they accept for one-way ticket as well. If it is less than 6 months, they require a round trip. If not, it should be one way, that's sufficient. Accommodation, as I mentioned you earlier, while paying the tuition fees, they have to make the accommodation deposit as well. With that, they provide a letter which is being required. And here, when we're talking about the fees for the embassy, it comes around 15 euros, which is payable directly at the embassy. And when we are talking about Campus France fees, it's around 12,500 Indian rupees, which is payable at the BNP Paribas Bank in India. So once with the confirmation, the student has to visit the Campus France. This is all about the visas. So here I would like to end my presentation, and thanks for the time for listening to me, and special thanks to my colleague Durgesh who prepared my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jad. It was really nice presentation. I just want to know that what we were talking about the public universities. So can you just elaborate what are the options available for the students if they're looking for the public universities?
See, as the public university, there is a competition as well as they look for the French speaking. The student has to be having a French certification. They have to have DLF 1, DLF 2. There are different certificates. DLF 1, DLF 2, A1, A2. So those kind of a certification they need to have it to get into public universities.
Okay. So what are the programs available if the students are choosing for the public universities?
Literatures, research programs. Basically, almost all the public university has research programs. Like it can be into any specialization. It's basically literatures and the research. That is the reason they required French language. As I mentioned, France is again developing and standing in fourth position for the French research. So almost all the courses are there for research.
So if the students are like doing any kind of French language certificate like B1 and B2, they can get the admission in the public university.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we are already working with so many French provider, the language provider in the French, where we can send them and they can finish their education there, like their B1 or B2 certificates, and then they can get admission in the public university also.
Right.
So what are the intakes are available if you compare with the public and the private universities?
Public university majorly has for fall, that is September and October.
September and October.
October, yeah. Depends on the university. It's September or October.
Okay, okay. The counselors, if you have any questions, feel free to write it down in our chat box window so that I can check with the chat. Okay, that's good. No questions. I thought Jad, you already having so many counselors sitting around you will ask so many questions to you. They are waiting for your webinar from the morning.
Yeah, I was expecting the same, but good to know that they don't have any questions, so that after that they might get from me like if they start asking me questions.
Yeah. So if the counselor does not ask you any questions, do not support them in the future applications.
Right.
Oh, first question came. See, when you threaten somebody, they'll start asking the question.
Yeah.
Okay, the first question came from Durgesh that can a student extend his or her visa in the country for a second semester,
Yes,
for
definitely.
example?
I'm so sorry, forgot to add over here. All the Schengen visas, like for the France, it's been granted only for 1 year. Okay, whatever the length of course duration is, it's for 1 year, and the student will be getting a residency permit over there, where the college or the university will be helping out, where we are not interfering it because it's a university job to get the residency permit done and the extension as well. I hope this clears Durgesh doubt.
So you mean to say that everybody's are getting the Shanghai visa to go to the France?
Yes, it's a long stay visa application, right? They get a Schengen.
Yeah, I mean to say the Shanghai visa. Mostly the other European countries they give 3 months Shanghai visa and the residency visa to their country like D1 or C1 something like that.
They get the residency permit to work over there. Yes, definitely they get the residency permit to work over there.
Okay, but they only get the one visa that is called a Shanghai visa for doing their education there.
Right.
Okay. So the Kulsum asked the question that what are the work opportunities after the course available, especially for the Indian students?
As I mentioned, the visa is being granted for 1 year, where they can look for a job. And if I would add over here once again, like as the students get the internship, 4 to 6 months of internship, most of the student, if I'm talking about a percentage, around more than 50% of the student get the placement in the same company, because at present France is promoting English speaking people.
Okay, that's great. Okay, and the third question asked by Durgesh again that what are the documents do I need to upload? Is there a specific file size limit for the campus France to the consulate interview?
Around 300 KB per file. It should
Ah,
be uploaded. All the academics, experience, resume, SOP, all these are the documents which to be uploaded in the Campus France.
okay, okay. So another question came from the Kulsum that what are the scholarships availability for the international students?
There are 5 types of scholarship. It's again varies, as I told you, basically for the public universities. Here, as I mentioned, Campus France is the company who evaluate to get the scholarship. And there are certain university and institution scholarships. It again depends again on the university requirement. They upfront it does not promote for the scholarships.
Okay,
As public university fees is almost like a scholarship fees. It's around 200 to 300 euro. So the student will be happy without getting a scholarship. They can go with it.
Okay. So this fees is the same for all the students like EU, non-EU, or this is depend on the internationally the fees is different and the local student the fees is different.
No, with the public universities, same. This is one plus point from apart from any other European country. France has this rule. They take the same way as the international student or EU or non-EU student. Only in public universities, but other institution, private institution, they have a varies in fees.
Okay, okay. So what will be the best time to apply to the university so that we can get the visa and we can get all our necessary work done?
See, if we are talking about the public universities, as I mentioned, it should be minimum 3 months.
Okay, and what about the private?
For the private, 3 months, and for the public, it should be like around 6 months because they take time for decision.
Okay, okay. So next question asked by the Pragati that after completion of the course, what is the procedure to fly to the another European country to complete the post-study work visa?
As they provide 1 year open work permit, which will be Schengen again, they will be having a residence permit with what they can look for a job in the respective country. And once they get into that company, the company will sponsor them the residence permit over there, work permit over there. They will change the status. They have 1 year of time to look for it. They can go to any of the Schengen country.
Okay. So Durgesh asked another question: Is the it's a batch processing a single student submit the visa application on behalf of the students is possible?
Sorry, I did not get you.
Um, is batch processing a single institute submit the visa application on behalf of the students?
No,
So every student has to apply for their own visa. Nobody can help them, right?
no. Yes, they have to apply by themselves
Okay,
because
okay,
they have the academic interview. They have to file the application themselves. The counselor might invite them for the interview. All those things.
okay. Is there any kind of age gaps are there in the France?
See, 35 will be the limit, I would tell, because after this, there is very less chances to prove the seriousness of the student. So college itself will not accept for a higher level degrees, but PhD there might be chance, but where we don't promote PhD, as most of the university does not have a PhDs in France. If they have it, they do have a limited with public universities again. The age limit will be 30 to 35.
Okay, and okay. So next question. Next question asked by the Kulsum that is there any kind of requirement to getting the scholarships? Is like they should have some kind of marks or any work experience to get the scholarships?
As mentioned, there is no specific requirement provided by any of the universities. They have their own certain internal evaluation done based on the GPA and based on their interviews.
Okay. Durgesh asked the question is that is any assistance in salary enough to live on in France? Like whatever they
Sorry?
get part time work or full time work, is this enough for the living expense there?
So it depends again on the student how he is maintaining it. If he's staying in Paris, I would tell no because Paris is again an expensive city. So if he's living somewhere like Reims or Lyon, Chambéry, there he will be able to manage because he will be able to make it around 600 to 700 euros per month.
Okay. Um, Praveen asked the question: Can we get admission in the public university without IELTS exam?
Yes, it's again as I told you, if the student has a French language.
Okay, so yeah, so if it is in the French, like when an IELTS or TOEFL doesn't matter for them because it's a French language they have to study. So I think they are looking forward for the B1 or B2 certificate in the French. Okay. So I think we you answered all the questions very well. Thank you very much for all attendees. Tomorrow we have the webinars from the Bristol universities, and they are coming live from the United States. So stay tuned tomorrow, and I will let you know time by tomorrow morning. I think it's late evening only, so we'll have a call with them. So tomorrow, the Bristol University delegates they give, and the day after tomorrow we have the Michael coming online from the Study Metro US office, and then he will talk to you personally. So it's not about the webinar; it's more about that we will unmute everybody, and then he can discuss about what exactly you are doing and what kind of things you are facing and what kind of suggestion he can give it to you to improve yourself to recruit more students. So back to back, we have the two webinars tomorrow, day after tomorrow. In the meantime, if anybody have any questions, feel free to ask to us. Thank you very much, everybody. Nice. Thank you very much to join this webinar. Nice weekends ahead. I think after day after tomorrow, and thank you, Jed. It was a very good webinar, and hoping to see a good number of the applications in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye bye.
everyone. Have a night.